Welcome. Thank you. I am trying to mask the sounds of heavy equipment outside my door. So I've got the window shut and a fan going, and I'm hoping it's not too intrusive to your audio experience. Um, the simplicity, the simple actuality to this is if I put this off because of that, there will be other reasons in life that happens that, well, last week I didn't get to anything until the end of the week. And I wouldn't have even gotten to that because I couldn't put all of the things together for the ideal time. It's one thing or another, it's life. It's this 3D experience. And I just, bless my heart, I have my quirkiness, and that's part of what this video is about. So we're these souls having these human experiences. And due to the veil, and then how we're indoctrinated and programmed in being socialized, and what we go through as young, infants, toddlers, children, young adults. That's an interesting term. It's a whole nother matter. Anyhow, how our society, a lot of my viewers are from other countries. And so I have to take into consideration that not everybody is having the same cultural experiences I have here in America. I don't think that really, we're all under this illusion, right? That the physical reality is happening to us, as opposed to, if you understand anything, even minimally about quantum physics, we're creating this. This is a manifestation of the collective. I am so sorry about that flippin' beeping. So this is what I share. I'm going through the same things that you are. I've had relationships in the past where I was kind of put on a pedestal, or a particular individual would compare themselves to me. And I've talked about this in other videos. Let me just pause this and see if I can't. This is so. We all have to do the work to get the result in this physical dimension. You've got to do the work. So you got to keep practices that will of self-care that will yield the results. We reap what we sow. And really, this video today, which is about the gift of you that you give yourself by having a relationship with yourself, it's all personal responsibility. And so when I spoke of the circumstances I've had previously with the people that I had in my life and had relationships with, that I have distanced myself, I was either being put on a pedestal, and then in order for their minds to perhaps feel better about themselves, there was a comparison, and then there was this aspect of blame and complain, right? It's like I gotta feel better about myself. So what can I see in this other? This is just a disconnected experience. What can I see in this other that I can knock them down a peg or two so that I can feel better about me, right? Because I'm not doing the work and I'm not feeling good about me through understanding and gentleness and love. I'm in that ego, and I'm causing myself pain and everybody else pain and suffering too. Personal responsibility. That's why I changed, a little at a time, by bringing that light to the darkness, doing the shadow work, looking at the really unflattering, embarrassing. If you're coming from the ego, it's not going to let you do that. It's going to play this game. And you want to be first in your life. You can't live in behaviors of codependency and make yourself first. I'm not talking about a narcissistic type of make yourself first. I'm talking about you are whole. You're the divinity. All of us. The portal is the heart. The heart is the portal. And another one is time. The present time, only time there is. These are portals. These are portals to access the truth, the divinity, the wholeness. Already are. So we want to shift what we're manifesting by awakening our consciousness. And you got to bring that light in. You got to be okay with the darkness. It's just the duality. That's all it is. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. It's just the duality. It's not who you are. Through cause and effect, you're going to be accountable for it. You're going to suffer. I've been there. Yeah. And I'm still there. It's, if you watched my 1 minute video on the forthcoming video of this video, that's what I was saying is I forgot. We're having this human experience, and if you identify your value and your worth with the experience, you get lost. And when we get lost in the illusion, and it's not an illusion because it isn't real, it's an illusion because we're creating out of the concept that we could be separate from that which created us. Oh, it's very real. It's very real. We are subject to the misery and the suffering. I don't need to tell you that. It's an illusion because you're not separate. I'm not separate. We're actually one. We're just having this experience because we came here for the contrast. Like Abraham Hicks, that's a big one on them. That they, the message that they come with. So many wonderful aspects of source that we have all around us. So what are you feeding yourself? This channel I'm big on the personal responsibility aspect. I'm imagining that there's probably not going to be a whole lot of people that want to be on that boat. So I don't know if, how much the channel will grow, because it's a tough one. It's a tough one. And I used to, when I was doing the work in counseling, I would liken it to cleaning out gutters, or the gutters with the leaves. If you're from an area where a lot of leaves fall and they get in the gutters and then they get real wet and damp and they start composting and decaying, and if you've ever had to clear that out of the gutter so that the water can, it's and it's like that because you're going to have to go in there and see this stuff. And so if your ego's there to protect you and you're going to get into all this nonsense, you're just going to be trapped. You want freedom? Responsibility. Personal responsibility is going to get you there. That's what I'm about. That's what this channel is about. That's what this message is about. Every time, bring it back to the self. These are experiences. We're having human experiences. Through cause and effect, you're going to suffer or become awakened, right? And then choose a better, more effective path. That's what's happening, right? You know what? I didn't like that. Isn't that the way most of the things that you learn go? I don't like that. And so if we're absent-minded to the cause and effect of the behaviors, of the thoughts, of the actions, and the words that we're speaking out into this form, this reality of form, then we're disconnected, right? We're not comprehending that we have authority over ourselves. In codependency, you play this blame game, right? We were raised in this dysfunction and we got our needs met through coping mechanisms gone awry, through behaviors that aren't respectful to ourselves and others. We don't know how to communicate, to speak our needs and our wants. Where was that modeled for us? We've got to take it upon ourselves to see the disconnect, to comprehend that all we need to do is the work. Awaken, heal. So let me look at some of my notes here. I might want to pause this. That beeping noise is coming around more. My whole intention is that I speak in such a way to calm the dysregulation that is happening for us as a result of information overload. I love YouTube. This is amazing what you can, learn and entertain yourself with, right? Who doesn't love really good cat and dog videos? However, there's balance. The Libran in me, you kind of have balance. And what I do notice is that when I'm out of balance, information overload really jacks up my nervous system. Remember that one video I was explaining? It's like Mac. Mac as opposed to Diesel. Diesel was part lab. He was so easygoing. Mac is purebred, and that's why I mentioned my purebred pit bulls, because they're like all jacked up. They're like our nervous systems after too much information and neglect and abuse and, all this stuff all over the place. I'll say to Mac, I'm like, you have to calm down, because I'll stand there and I'll be like, just have to calm my nervous system from his angst and energy. When I say the greatest gift in this experience is for you to be given you, I'm speaking about the relationship that you have with yourself. Because it's also a gift for us to have and be in relationship with others. It really is. However, what many of us are doing is we're giving authority of ourselves over to others in our relationships. And this is the codependency aspect. This is the ego's thing of, here, I'll do this for you, you do this for me. We're not talking about reciprocal, balanced, healthy give and take. We're talking about these little manipulative games that the ego plays, as far as people pleasing. There's just not that awareness of how to be in healthy communication and healthy exchange of give and take. That's the suffering that I have learned from, that I'm here to share. That when I hear people speak, when I observe the language they use, when I, can listen to what they're speaking about as far as their life, I can hear where they do not see what they've given up in authority over themselves. And I know what I want to shed light into that darkness, and I can share that part of me, and then get to that forward movement, right? What does this look like, so that we can move forward, so that we can experience the peace? Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, it said, it's not the past, it's your relationship to it. It's not what's happening in your life right now. Give anything that you can come up with that's happening circumstance-wise, or in relationship with others. It's happening right now. It's not the thing. It's your relationship with the thing. And this is the Hermetic principles. This is the first principle, mentalism. All is mind. That's what I mean when I say the 6 inches between the ears. What's going on in there? Are you at the mercy of that? And if you are, you're putting others at the mercy of that. What I've learned as I've suffered enough is, when I can see that that's where an individual is at, I just distance myself. I have compassion for them, I have compassion for me, and I distance myself, because they're not where they can love themselves. Healthy self-care practices of personal responsibility. And they're going to be in a world of hurt and suffering. And then that, just like a pebble that drops in a pond and radiates out. Whatever vibration and frequency, Tesla said, right? Energy, vibration, frequency, whatever that is that you're emitting out is, and that's where you're aligning with your reality. That's why there's timeline shifts. I have a really neat story to a timeline shift, a personal one, not just the Mandela effect that we, are experiencing collectively, but this was in my own personal life. I have a neat story. I don't know if I'll share it personally here. It's crazy. It's cool, actually, because I'm open to that. And in order to create something, you have to be able to conceive it. It was Wayne Dyer that talked about that. If you can't conceive something, then you can't believe it. And if you got to believe it first to create it, to manifest it. So the beeping is just really obnoxious. I think I've communicated what I've wanted to. Put down in the comments what's helped you in this video. If there's anything I shed light on or happened to say in a particular way that helped something click for you, or if you have questions, like I didn't bring something around well enough to communicate the gist, that this is about your relationship with you. Give yourself you. You're going to have better relationships with others, because you're seeing the divinity within yourself, and then you can see it in others. And then what you put your attention to, that frequency raises, and you create, you manifest, and you shift the timeline for all of us into that new earth. Okay. Santo La Pace. Thank you so much for your likes, shares, subscribes. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for your comments down below and participating in dialogue. Thank you. I love you. Santo La Pace. Gilda Peace.